The Celtics season crumbled, but Payton Pritchard just exploded into a star while the Boston Celtics watched their championship dreams evaporate in brutal fashion during the 2002-04-05 NBA season. One unexpected name quietly ignited and may have just altered the franchise's trajectory. Forget everything you thought you knew about Payton Pritchard. Once seen as a fringe rotation piece, the 6'1" guard detonated expectations in his fifth year, posting a career-best 14.3 points per game on elite efficiency, 47.2% from the field, and a scorching 40.7% from deep. But what makes this even more jaw-dropping? He did it coming off the bench, 77 games, 0 starts, and maximum impact. Pritchard didn't just improve, he transformed. His play was so pivotal, so relentless, that he walked away with the NBA's 6th Man of the Year award, beating out names with far bigger contracts and reputations. This wasn't a local feel-good story. This was national recognition. And it didn't stop there. The Celtics, recognizing the full scope of his evolution, also crowned him with their internal Most Improved Player honor. And with Boston still yet to name their Sharpshooter of the Year, it's hard to imagine anyone else taking that title. Pritchard led the team in three-point percentage among qualified shooters, not just knocking down shots, but burying back-breaking daggers in crucial moments. But here's the real twist. With Jayson Tatum's devastating Achilles tear in Game 4 of the second-round playoff collapse against the New York Knicks, a moment that sent shockwaves through the Eastern Conference, Boston is suddenly forced to reimagine its core, and that's where Pritchard steps in. The Celtics aren't just hoping he can replicate his breakout. They need him to. With Tatum likely missing a massive chunk of the 2025-26 season, Pritchard could be thrust into a leadership role on a team now grappling with both ambition and uncertainty. He was once an afterthought. Now, he may be the key to Boston's survival. Payton Pritchard didn't just win 6th Man of the Year, he may have just become the most important Celtic, not named Tatum or Brown. And if you're not paying attention to what he's about to do next, you're already behind. The Celtics may be forced to deal with the devil before the NBA draft, and that devil might be Danny Ainge. The Boston Celtics just lifted banner 18, but the champagne hasn't even dried, and already the front office is staring down a brutal financial reckoning. The new punitive luxury tax measures aren't just inconvenient, they're existential. If Boston doesn't shed salary fast, it could be locked into a second apron hell that restricts trades, signings, and roster flexibility for years to come. This is the price of winning in the modern NBA. Build a super team. Pay the bill, then tear it down before it destroys you from the inside. So now, with the 2025 NBA draft looming, the Celtics are being forced into conversations that no championship team wants to have. According to multiple insiders, Boston has to start sacrificing real assets, not fringe players, not bench. We're talking key contributors. And one name gaining unexpected traction is Sam Hauser. Hauser, whose elite three-point shooting helped stretch defenses all year, is about to enter year one of a $45 million contract. On paper, it's a bargain. In reality, it's a burden. The Celtics need to move him, even if it hurts. And that's where the Utah Jazz come in. In a deal proposed by Philly Voice's Adam Aronson, Boston would send Hauser and the No. 32 pick to Utah in exchange for the No. 21 overall selection. It's a move that screams desperation from the Celtics and calculated opportunism from the Jazz, a team that's currently sitting at the bottom of the Western Conference and looking to buy low on undervalued, playoff-proven talent. But here's the twist that makes this negotiation even more fascinating and potentially explosive. Danny Ainge, the man running basketball ops in Utah, is the same Danny Ainge who built the Celtics core before handing the keys to Brad Stevens. And Stevens, he's already stepped on Ainge's toes once, outmaneuvering Utah for both Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday in the past 2 years. That history could complicate this deal or perhaps make it inevitable. The NBA's cruel irony is that while Boston just celebrated a title, it may now have to negotiate its own dismantling piece by painful piece with the architect of its previous era. That's not just front office drama, that's Shakespeare. And don't think Hauser will be the last name floated. If Boston is serious about escaping the second apron, even fan favorites might be tossed onto the trading block like chess pieces. The era of sentimentality. The Celtics might be planning a draft day heist, and no one's talking about it. The NBA Finals are winding down. But for front offices around the league, the real war begins now, and Boston might be gearing up for a stealth attack. Make no mistake, the Boston Celtics are not entering this offseason quietly. While many eyes are fixated on the championship spotlight, Brad Stevens is lurking in the shadows with a scalpel, not a sledgehammer, ready to make surgical, franchise-defining moves. And the draft. That could be the first domino. The brutal truth: Boston's payroll is a ticking luxury tax bomb. With the new collective bargaining agreement squeezing contenders like a vice, the Celtics face a cruel choice: either shed salary or sacrifice depth, flexibility, and future sustainability. They're flirting dangerously close with the dreaded second tax apron, a restriction so severe it could essentially handcuff the front office for years. And yet, Stevens might have a workaround in mind, a draft day leap that most fans aren't even seeing coming. Boston currently holds the 28th pick, a position that historically yields role players or project prospects. But sources suggest they may be eyeing a specific player: Cedric Coward, a 6 feet 6 inches guard out of Washington State with a rare blend of scoring efficiency, rebounding instincts, and positional versatility. Not your typical late first flyer. Coward isn't just intriguing, he's potentially essential. If the Celtics are serious about flipping Jrue Holiday to ease the cap burden, a move that would send shockwaves through the locker room, they need to backfill guard depth immediately. Payton Pritchard could be promoted, yes, but that's a shaky gamble in a win-now window. Coward, who averaged nearly 18 points, 7 boards, and 3.7 assists per game on 55% shooting, offers a toolkit that could future-proof their backcourt while still contributing in the short term. The twist: Coward probably won't be there at 28. He's rising fast on team boards, and Boston knows it. That means a trade-up is likely in play, and with that comes sacrifice. Future draft capital, possibly pick swaps, or young assets could be on the table. If Boston believes Coward is their guy, Stevens may decide that building toward the next generation starts now, not when the Tatum Brown window is closed. Here's where it gets even more complicated. This isn't just about Coward. This is about shifting from reactive roster building to proactive succession planning. It's about staying ahead of the tax instead of being buried under it. And most of all, it's about setting the tone for the post-holiday era without surrendering. The edge that brought them within striking distance of a title. Expect silence from Boston in the lead-up. No leaks, no hype. But don't be fooled, a storm could be brewing behind the scenes. If the Celtics make a move on draft night, it won't be for a flashy name. It'll be for survival, and maybe for something even bigger down the line.